Hey, it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualise, my asexual life. This is the place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual. I share my asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, hit that great big subscribe button right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live right now or post a new video. In a moment, I'm going to be talking about how to self-care in crazy times. Yes, it's very, very crazy times at the moment. If you didn't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives 47 Asexual Stories book. And we're also the author of Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook. Links down below in the description. Hello, 100% Beef. Lots of love to you. Well, as you know, I'm currently off work sick. I was in a lot of pain last week with my neck. The neck pain is a lot better now, but I've had back pain recently, and I'm just generally quite stressed in comparison to what I'd usually be. So at the moment, I'm off sick from work, which is why I'm not on this channel much. At the moment, getting myself better. So apologies for not being on here live much lately and not actually having a video out for you every night at the moment. I have to make sure that I'm getting rest and sleeping and chilling out and, just generally getting myself better. I'm feeling a little bit better tonight, enough to do the video. So I've been trying to relax more. I was very stressed out this morning. But yeah, as the days progressed, I've been a little bit better, had some nice food to eat. So yeah, part of what I'm doing at the moment is sharing self-care videos, that type of thing. So I wanted to do another self-care video. I think it's really important, that when I find stuff that helps me to let you know as well, because obviously at the moment we are in very, very crazy times, and I think it's taking a toll on a lot of people. It puts us under a lot of stress and pressure, and kind of like, the world's very weird at the moment, isn't it? And so that doesn't really help our mental health, our physical health as well. And whatever is kind of going on in our minds kind of manifests itself in our body as physical pain. So one of the ways that's very important to self-care, I did mention this on previous videos, to make sure you are having nice, healthy foods, nutritious foods. Make sure you're keeping those up. To be honest, sometimes I haven't felt so much like eating like I usually do. I've kind of like waited till a bit later to eat food. And so, maybe I have neglected that a little bit. Like I've been eating kind of like at later times. So I usually eat later anyway because I'm a night owl, but I think maybe I need to be eating a little bit more regular times throughout the day. So I think that would help me a bit. But, I am having nutritious foods. But also, like I said, it's okay to have some comfort foods as well. So another way of self-caring is to be kind to yourself in the language you speak to yourself. So self-care is all about looking after yourself physically with foods and exercise. It's also about looking after yourself mentally and emotionally. And, it's very, very important the words you say to yourself. So it's a time when you need to be really kind to yourself, very loving, and say positive words and show appreciation for yourself, show that you love yourself and care about yourself, and make sure that that you're a good person, that strange things happen in the world that are beyond our control, and that's really what I want to come on to as well. Is you have to understand that we cannot control our outer world, we can only control our inner world, right? So we can't control what's going on in the outside world at the moment. It's very difficult times. It's very hard for some people to cope with, especially mentally at the moment. Some people physically, some people can't get out to do food shopping as much as they usually would, or go for walks like they usually would. So it's very important that we say loving words to ourselves, like we care about ourselves, we love ourselves. And it's also important that we do look after ourselves in the language we speak to ourselves, and make sure that we are really, really caring about us, really, really loving us as much as possible. And we have to limit anything that's toxic or destructive to our soul. So, for example, I won't watch films that, that are to do with death and destruction and stuff like that. I don't want to put things in my mind at the moment that would be anything to do with, viruses or anything, like films like that type of thing. I'm very careful and mindful of the films I watch to relax to at the moment, because you don't want to put anything in your mind that's negative. And you have to limit your time around doing anything negative. We kind of have to detox from people. Maybe you've got people on Facebook that are just being mean to you, writing horrible comments, or nasty judgmental things. Those are the people you need to block out of your life, and remove from your friends list if they're in your friends list. You just want people in your circle, where that's offline or online, that really understand you, that really appreciate and that really love you for who you are, and that lift you up as much as possible in these difficult times. I want to say a big shout out to an asexual friend who messaged me before this live stream, reminded me of how lovely I am, which I thought was really, really nice. Lots of love to you, and all the skills and everything that I have, and who values my worth. And they haven't messaged me for a long time. It's a long time since I've chatted to them. They're an online friend, and it's really good to hear from them. And so if you do have a supportive network around you, it can help loads. If you've got family or friends that you can talk to that really help bring you up, help raise your vibration, help raise your awareness of how good you are, how awesome you are, that can really help. We shouldn't rely on other people to do that for us. We should be self-loving and realizing and valuing our worth, as it is. We shouldn't be reliant on other people for that. But if you have got people in your support network, people who really care about you, people who value your worth, then it does help. Of course it's going to help you if you're not feeling so good about life or yourself or things that are happening in it. It's going to make you feel a lot better. So, I do appreciate that person for reaching out to me. I do appreciate you being on this channel and caring about me. I really do love you, for that a lot. And so it's very important to realize that the world is kind of crazy at the moment, and you just have to put down to, like, the world has gone completely mad at the moment. That's the way I feel. I think it's better to just kind of put that in my mind and think the world's a bit crazy at the moment. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it to change the outside world. All we can do is protect ourselves, try and protect others as much as possible. And, and I stay in a lot, I'm not going out a lot at the moment because obviously, it's safer to stay indoors a lot of the time. But, there is consequences to that. Like, I'm not exercising as much as I should be doing. So my body's not as fit as it would be normally. And when it's not as fit, then obviously your energy can deplete more or deplete quicker. And therefore, that can become an issue as well. So you have to remember that you can do exercise, you can walk. It's very good if you can take a walk or get some fresh air, so you get that oxygen circulating around your body, and that can release feel-good chemicals to make you feel better. Talk to people that will understand you and understand what you're going through. I mean, obviously some other people, friends of mine, they have anxiety too, so they understand it. Although you don't want to be having tons of conversation just centralizing around anxiety or stress, because you're just going to get more stressed and anxious between you. So it's good to talk for a while about that, but then to also talk about other things. And self-care is like also about doing what makes you happy, what feels good to you as much and as often as possible. I like a warm shower. I love the feeling of the shower on my body, on my hair. That's really good for me. Writing's really good as well. Like, if you are feeling anxious, nervous, worried, concerned, or just not yourself, writing, journaling, anything like that, blogging, anything like that's really, really good to kind of get your feelings and emotions out and thoughts, or just because it takes your mind off things. Ace Ghost to Coast, hello, lots of love to you. Thank you for joining me. So journaling can really, really help. It can help relieve stress and tension, and it can help get your thoughts out. It doesn't have to be like a blog, obviously, is public, but you can just make it private and writing journals, writing diaries. I write in my diary a lot. And it's just really positive way of getting your feelings and emotions out, in a constructive manner. Because we really, really need to be able to kind of like get if we've got any negative thoughts or worries or pains inside us, it's really positive to get it outside so that it doesn't eat up our energy within and eat up our soul. We need to keep our soul pure and as happy and energetic inside us as possible. And so it's really important to nourish. Thank you for the thumbs up. It's really important to nourish your inner child as well. I've mentioned this before. And there's a lot of people that are like, oh, when you get to a certain age, you can't do this and you can't do that. Dark psycho, thank God. Oh, lots of love. When you get to a certain age that you can't do this and you can't do that. But there is no age limit on things, right? It's very, very important. Dark psycho, I'm asexual. Oh, hello. It's nice to see you. Lots of love. I'm just doing a special show, which is all about self-care. At the moment, because I'm currently off work sick, so I'm recovering from illness, and I'm still very much don't know how to deal with it. Oh right, well, I love being asexual. So yeah, for me, I absolutely love being asexual. Oh, you like this channel? Thank you. I really appreciate you. I love being here actually. It's because I've been not very well, but I've been off and I'm still signed off by the doctor from work. So obviously I can't be on here all the time when I need to recover and get better. But it does help sometimes doing this channel when I'm not feeling well, because it's kind of like makes me feel good to be able to connect with people of my own kind who are asexual as well. And I have some people who are not asexual coming on here as well, that are very, like Sparky 666. I was just literally saying I have some people come in chat which aren't asexual but are nice people, and Sparky 666, who's not asexual, turned up. People kind of know how to just turn up on this channel, don't they, at the right time. So lots of love to you. Nice to see you. So I'm glad you like this channel, Dark Psycho. So going off topic a little bit about self-care, but obviously it is still to do with self-care. Yeah, you turned up at the right time. It's still to do with self-care, because obviously if we move on to talking about asexual, not knowing how to deal with it, right? For me, asexuality, it was a journey of discovery of myself. The more I learn about my asexuality and my sexuality in general, the more confident I feel in life, the more happier I feel knowing what I want from a relationship in the future, because I'm a romantic asexual. So obviously there's a lot of asexuals that aren't romantic. They haven't got any romance in them whatsoever. They're not interested in romance. For me, I'm romantic asexual. And I had sex in the past a long time ago, like not over 9 years ago now. So it's very, very interesting for me looking back at that time, looking to how I feel and think now about sex and how I actually have always been asexual but didn't realize it. It's very empowering for me. It's very empowering to know that I can live, love, and be happy in a relationship in the future without sex. Dark Psycho, people won't accept that I'm not attracted to anybody. Right, okay. So what I would say to you, Dark Psycho, is it doesn't matter what they think, right? Because I did a video about this a long time ago. Your asexuality is non-negotiable, right? So it doesn't matter what people think. Your asexuality is non-negotiable. People can't negotiate with it. If they don't accept it, that's their problem, right? It doesn't stop you being asexual. It'll never stop you being asexual. But you have to be very, very strong, confident, and positive about your asexuality. Because if you're not, people will pick up on that. So I was very weak when I first discovered that I was asexual. I was like, oh, I think I'm asexual. That was when I very first found out about it. And I spent 3 weeks researching it to make sure that it was me and where I fitted in on the asexual spectrum. So for me, it's been a journey of discovery of myself. And I'm really happy that I found others like me, because obviously there's thousands of asexuals, absolutely thousands. One of the things I used the other day, because I'm obviously on Facebook dating, I've spoke about that, which most people on Facebook dating are not asexual. But there was one person I had the other day, and they said to me, like, about asexuality. They're like, oh, what's that? I don't understand it. And I said, well, you know Emmerdale, so it's a UK soap. I said, you know Liv, she's asexual. And then he's like, oh, okay. So he shut up after I said that. So in the UK, we've actually got an asexual character in a mainstream soap opera now. And it's been a storyline that's been ongoing, but she only came out as asexual in the last few months. She's out in the paper as going to be an asexual character, but she's actually not actually used the words asexual to in recent months. So it's very important that, you know, that I don't know where you live, Dark Psycho, but obviously, you know, I can use that as an example. But, you know, like I have asexual in-person friends. So I know asexuality is real. I have real asexual friends, you know? And if people are like, oh, well, you can't get a relationship if you're asexual, that's not true. I have 3 friends, all asexual, all in relationships with other asexuals. One's married, one's engaged to their asexual partner, one's in a deeply committed long life partnership. 3 asexuals all got asexual partners, living and loving and happy in relationships without sex ever. So it can happen, you know? So anyone who doesn't accept it, it doesn't matter if they don't accept it. We just need to persist with saying I'm asexual, whether you like it or you don't like it. It doesn't change who I am. I am asexual. And try to talk to people who understand you, who are asexual. You know, there's asexuals all over Facebook and loads of asexual groups on Facebook. There's asexuals on asexuality.org, asexuals on asexualistic.com, dating website for asexuals. There's also a few sexuals on there, so be aware. Ace-book.net, so ace-book.net was an asexual dating site and social networking site. You know, again, you've got to be careful because there's a few people on there that aren't really asexual. Those sexuals like go on there occasionally, you know. But you have to understand there's thousands of asexuals, thousands around the world, right? But the trouble is a lot of us are all scattered around the world. But I hold asexual meetups in my city of Exeter in the UK, and people come from all over to them usually. I hold some online meetups sometimes too. I haven't done one in a while because I have been working in my full-time job and, you know, I'm off sick at the moment. But, you know, obviously I'm coherent tonight and I'm more positive. And, you know, this video is all about self-caring, but part of self-caring is loving yourself for being asexual. You know, thank God I'm so different to the vast majority of the population. And that's a really good thing, right? It's good to differentiate yourself between you and other people. It's good to be different. It's good to enjoy a different type of quality of life, being able to see love in a pure, meaningful, non-sexual way. You know, I do get attracted to people, but in multiple ways, but not sexual or not platonic. But some asexuals, they don't have any attractions whatsoever, and that's okay. You have to understand you're okay as you are on your own. If people don't believe you or accept you for who you are, they're narrow-minded. They're the ones that have got the problem. It's not you, it's them. And just, you know, if you can, move on from them. If it's your family, just be firm and say, I'm asexual, and just keep saying it and saying it and saying it. This is what I did when I was in my old job. One of my old jobs years ago, there was 2 people who didn't believe me. One I knew from a previous job, and we were walking home and I told her I was asexual, but I was very weak in what I said. And she's like, oh, you just haven't met the right guy yet, because you're always talking about guys, which in my case I was, because I'm very romantic. But I was saying, I know I'm attracted to younger foreign guys, but I don't want to have sex with them. That's why I talk about them a lot, because I am romantically attracted to them. I'm aesthetically attracted to them. I love romance. I love kissing, you know, all that type of thing. So but I said I don't want sex, but she didn't believe me. She's like, oh, come on, you're always talking about it. You just haven't found the right guy yet. Now I would know how to answer that. But back then I didn't. I would say, yes, you're absolutely right. I haven't met the right asexual guy for me yet to be in a relationship with romantically, you know. So I would be a lot more firmer and stronger now anyway. And then there was a gay guy as well. Thanks for the advice, Dark Psycho says. You're welcome. Lots of love to you. So yeah, there was a gay guy in my work, and we used to be really getting on really, really well. We used to be quite close as friends. But when I told him I'm asexual, don't forget he's part of the LGBT community, and asexuals are part of LGBT plus QIA. Then, you know, you would have thought that he would be more understanding, but he didn't accept it. He was really uncomfortable with it. And that's what you got to remember. A lot of people are uncomfortable with it. You know, that's the reason they don't accept it, is because they're uncomfortable, because it makes them kind of uncomfortable. I don't understand really why people are uncomfortable with not wanting sex, but for some reason it makes people really uncomfortable, which is weird, because, you know, it means that we're actually safer for their friends and family and children to be around because we don't want sex. So it's, you know, so it's really important that we understand that, you know, some people don't accept it. So those two people didn't accept it. The guy who was gay, it really damaged our friendship relationship, that was. Thank you for the thumbs up. Lots of love. Hi, Eddie. Oh, hi, Sam. Everyone's here tonight, the family. And so, yeah, it really damaged the friendship relationship that I had with this gay guy, because he just wouldn't accept that I was asexual. He got, you know, he really wasn't. But those two people, both of those people, a year later, accepted my asexuality. I couldn't force them to like it. I couldn't force them to accept it. But all I was is persistent and consistent all the time. I kept talking about being asexual. I kept saying I'm on asexual forums. I'm on asexual dating sites. I'm holding asexual meetups. I've met asexuals. And I kept going on and on and on and on and about being asexual and how much I loved it and my asexual life. So eventually they just couldn't deny it. They got so fed up of hearing it. I think they're like, oh God, okay, you're asexual. I get it now. Do you know what I mean? So, but everyone else is weird, because I used to work in a big store, and everyone else who I spoke to in the staff areas and stuff like that, they were fine about it. Eddie, make the family brownies with X-Lax. That will teach them. Oh, bless. That's funny, Eddie. I don't do cooking, as you know. Well, I do cooking, but minimal cooking for myself. I don't bake cakes because I can't eat them. Wait, you need to go. Okay, Dark Psycho, that's fine. That's fine. I can't stay on too long tonight anyway. But yes, I'm glad you got some advice. You'll come back tomorrow. TYSM. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow, to be honest, because I'm currently off sick from my day job. So a lot of the time I'm spending time resting and taking time out. So usually I stream every night or day if I can. But at the moment I'm off here, and not as much on here because I'm signed off sick at the moment. So I've come on tonight because I'm feeling well enough to come on. And I wanted to keep in touch with you on here, you know, and just let you know about self-care stuff. But I wasn't intending to stay on as long as I did. But yeah, I think it's very good that you got some advice while you're here. But obviously, part of self-caring is caring about yourself as an asexual person, and knowing that you have the right to be asexual, you have the right to be any sexual orientation that you are. Do you know what I mean? No one has the right to deny your orientation. No one has the right to take it away from you. No one has the right to make you feel bad about who you are. You know, I'm on Facebook dating, but I'm positive about who I am on there. It's like, I don't want sex. I'm looking for a serious and committed relationship without sex. That's it. If guys start coming on there going, oh, I had a guy the other day, but I'm not asexual. I'm saying, oh, well, I guess you want sex in a relationship then, so we wouldn't be suitable. Bye. You know, because I don't need a guy in my life. I don't have to be in a relationship. I don't need a relationship. I would like a romantic relationship, but I don't need one. Right. And because I don't need one, it means I can just let guys go out of my life and just like carry on looking for the right asexual guy. Maybe there's one that happens to be on Facebook dating. I don't know. But do you know what I mean? But obviously I've got other things on my mind, like getting better first. But you know, it's really, really important to like I said earlier, I was talking about nourishing your inner child. And that's really important because, you know, people say that as a thanks for the thumbs up, people say that, you know, that at a certain age that, you know, you should be doing this, that, and the other. And I just think it's a load of rubbish. Like, everyone has like an inner child, and the inner child is very important because it's the person within you that likes playtime, that likes fun, that lives without fear, that judges things on exploration and trying new things out, and kind of bumbles into things blindly but can feel their way around. So if you think of like a baby, like a toddler, it kind of like, it hasn't got fears like it does when it's older. It has a lot more freedom of expression to do things. It has toys to play with. It has fun, theoretically speaking. I mean, obviously not everyone's childhood is like this, but that's what it's meant to be like. And so it's very important that you do nourish the inner child in you at whatever age you are. And it actually keeps you really young as well as looking after yourself. Sam, everyone's life is their own. I don't believe anyone should do certain things by a certain age. I totally agree with you, Sam. Lots of love to you, my best friend. Friendship love. Yeah, I really agree with you. I don't believe anyone should do certain things by a certain age. I totally agree with you on that. And I just think it's ridiculous that so many people are like, oh, I've got to a certain age, I'm too old to do this, I'm too old to do that. It's like, damn it, I'm not too old, and I will never retire. I'm the type of person that would be bored rigid if I actually retired. I'm not the type of person that would ever want to retire. I'd be bored, stiff. My life, I like doing stuff all the time, constantly, being busy, being active, right? I might, I'm not saying I'm not going to have leisure time and chill out with movies and stuff like that, because that's really important for the health and well-being, like I've told you, part of the self-care routine. When I watch movies, especially with anxiety and stress, it really helps take my mind off and distract the mind. And I think part of self-care, if you do have anxiety, it's good to take your mind off that, because with anxiety, it tends to go around in a spiral and a loop. And you tend to worry about the same thing. So in order to break that cycle, it's good to go off and do something else, like go for a walk, journal. But for me, movies helps me switch off. It helps me go into another world, if you know what I mean. And especially if I use movies with energizing things in them, like superhero movies, they really energize me. Dance movies really energize me. So it's very important as part of your self-care routine to actually do things that nourish that inner child within you. Sam, my mother tells me how I should be living sometimes, and I have to point out I don't conform to societal norms. I live my way as it is my life. That is so true, Sam. I'm so good. I'm so glad that you say that to your mum. You pointed out you don't conform to societal norms and live my way as it's my life. I totally agree with you. I hate conforming. Well, I just don't conform to societal norms. I never will do, because it's just not who I am as a person. I am happiest when I'm at home, doing my own thing, being creative, not watching TV, just doing creative passion projects. Like, obviously I love being on this channel. I really love it to bits. I love blogging, writing my books, the Asexual Guide to Sex book. The final interviewee story is finished now, but I've still got to do my part of the book, which is still going to be quite a significant part of the book to do. But I wanted to make sure I got everyone else's part done first. So while I've been off sick, the person's story had nearly finished anyway. They were just checking over the grammar and spelling and a couple of words here and there. So but they've got their story back to me saying it's all good now, approved everything, so that's good. So so when I'm feeling a bit more up to it, I can do some more of the book, which will be great. It probably is going to be next year, I think, when I'm going to do my bit of the book, to be honest, because with Christmas coming up now, things are getting kind of like interesting, shall we say. Very interesting. So and obviously I'm off sick at the moment. So, but writing is good for the soul. So it's important as part of self-care to also do writing, it's very, very important. But yeah, I don't conform to societal norms. I never will do. I'm not interested in watching TV. This is another thing about getting into a relationship. For me, it's like, I want a relationship where a guy loves me for all my quirks, and I believe I can get that. I believe that I can find a guy who will like me for my quirky personality and the fact I live usually an upside down life. Obviously, when I'm working in my day job, I can't live the life I would like to live as much, because I have adult responsibilities and times that I have to be in work, and it's a very responsible position I've got. So I then use my outside time for nourishing my inner child, my creative projects a lot more, and just to live my nice unconventional life a lot more. I can't even understand why people want to retire, because for me, I don't want to waste my life away. I want to sit in front of the TV, you know what I mean? I'm not into traveling either. I would literally rather keep writing books for the rest of my life to change lives. Books change lives. Me traveling to Australia or whatever, which I'm not interested in doing, is not going to change someone's life. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, and there's lots more books I want to be writing for asexuals in the future, and books for other people as well that are not asexual. So, yeah. And for some reason, I've got a problem with my Microsoft flashing up during the live stream. Sorry about that. Yeah, so it's really, really important as part of your self-care to just, you know, like be happy with who you are, and, you know, to realize that it's okay to be different. It's okay to not conform to societal norms. It's okay to be your true authentic self. It's okay to love yourself for who you are. And it's empowering if you remind yourself of that. Like, it's good that I've got Sam here in chat reminding me of how awesome it is to not conform to societal norms. And it's lovely to have that relatability to me and Sam are best friends. It's lovely to have that relatability to each other where we both don't conform, and we both like an unconventional life. And it works very well, actually, because usually we're awake we're awake at different times sometimes, but our times overlap for being awake, if you know what I mean, so we can message each other and see how each other's day's going. And I do love that, you know, that friendship. It's taken me many years to like and accept who I am, but I'm mostly there. Oh, I'm glad, Sam. You're awesome. You're ace, as you know. I love having Sam as best friend. They are an incredible person. I'm so glad they're in my life as a best friend. I really appreciate you as always. You know, it really makes me smile and so happy that you're my best friend. You know, you're a wonderful, wonderful person. You know, and it does help. You know, part of self care, like I said, is having a good support network around you. The feeling's mutual. Thank you. Friendship, love. And yeah, it does help having a support network. It helps having, you know, a person there always to message and talk to and understand each other, and also have our own lives. Me and Sam lead our own lives. Do you know what I mean? We've got like things that we do that's got nothing to do with our friendship. Do you know what I mean? But we can talk about them within our friendship, you know? So we lead very busy, different, active lives. Obviously I'm not so active at the moment because I'm indoors most of the time. But you know, and getting better. So yeah, but it's really good to have that support network. You know, it's really good to love yourself for who you are. I love being asexual. I could never ever want to be heterosexual. That idea of it just like repulses me, you know. I like being different. I've always liked being different. Being different's not easy though. Being different can be really hard because a lot of people don't accept you for who you are because they're not used to it. It makes them uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, we're not here in life to make everyone comfortable. We're here in life to live our own life, be our own true authentic self, and do what makes our soul feel so good and peaceful and happy, and to be in environments that are good for us and that make us feel great, and that are right for our soul and right for our being. And they just are amazingly awesome for us, you know. And we have to sometimes experience the not so good things in order to realize more and more what's good for us, you know. If you put yourself in different environments, you can usually, if you're in tune with your body and you're consciously aware of yourself, you can feel in your body whether a situation or person or group or environment's good for you to be in or not. You can just assess your body, how it feels, because anxiety, right, is not good in lots of ways, but there are some good things about it. You know, it helps protect you, it helps keep you out of danger. It helps to make you aware of things that aren't very good for you and that are toxic for you. And it really does show you a lot of the things that aren't right, especially if you mix it with intuition. You know, I'm very intuitive and I can feel when something's not good and not right, you know. Sometimes being intuitive and having insight into things that other people can't see is sometimes a curse in some way, or maybe not a curse, but it's not always good in this. It's good, but it's not always good if other people can't see things that you can. But you know, anxiety has a lot of benefits, and I shouldn't be saying this because, you know, a lot of therapists would like kind of disagree. But I actually years ago went to see a counsellor for anxiety, and they got sheets off the internet. So to me, they weren't like a proper counsellor. It's like I could have just got them myself off the internet. Do you know what I mean? And they weren't in order either. And it's like, you know, because I actually asked them, I said, I want to work on some stuff. I want to work through things. So I have to ask them to work through things. And then they had to go and get some stuff on the internet just to help me work through stuff. I'm like, this is not a very good counsellor. I left in the end because my mental health got worse over it. But yeah, so it's part of like anxiety. It's not actually a bad thing. But this person want me to say there are more cons to anxiety than pros. But actually, for me, a lot of the time, I can pick a lot of pros out. But when the anxiety gets so bad that your body is hurting, your mind is completely kind of screwed up, you've got so much physical pain, then it's time to like get some help or find ways of coping better, find ways of dealing with your anxiety more, because obviously you don't want to stay in that state. It's very, very bad for your health. But anxiety is there to protect you. It helps write sometimes. It helps you to write better. It helps productivity sometimes, because if you're anxious, a lot of the time it's very good to distract your mind, which means that a lot of the time you need to do stuff, actively do stuff. Therefore, it makes you be more productive. It can give you a lot more momentum. So you can actually use anxiety to its advantage. But also you have to listen to your body and understand that when it needs a rest, and understand when things aren't good for you to be around. Then you have to like decrease that, minimize it, or remove the stressor, if you like, remove the anxiety inducer. But there are things we're going to have to do in our life that are anxiety inducing to a certain extent in order to progress in life. So part of the self-care is, if you are changing your life in some way, that you do it by little steps, because if you do it too much too soon, you're just going to be completely like overwhelmed, and it's going to really anxiety induce you. So it's better to like make changes to your life little by little, try things out, and then try a bit more out. So when you change your life, make incremental changes. The more you get used to change, though, the more you can change, in terms of the amount of things you can change and how fast you can change them as well. Like I can adapt and change to certain situations a lot more quicker than I usually could. Like if I want to start a new brand, for example, I can do that quicker than I usually would. Although with me, I still take a while to think about everything. But yeah, I think I really need to kind of sometimes think less and do more. But then sometimes it's important to think as well. It's important that when you're not feeling well, to, as part of self-care, to reflect on things like, what is it you really want to do with your life? Or what is it you want to do with relationships, family, friends? Are you in the right place financially, where you want to be, career-wise, mission-wise? So when you are like taking time out for your self-care, part of self-care is reflecting on what's happening in your life, what's good, what's not so good, what you need to change, how you need to move forward in your life. So kind of making plans for the here and now and for the future. Because by making plans for the future, by reflecting and assessing, you feel more control of the situation. It's very important as an anxious person that you can feel in control of your own life and your own situation as much as possible. You can't, like I said, you can't control other people, can't control their behavior, can't control what they do, but all we can do is control ourselves. And sometimes part of controlling ourselves is, and to feel more in control, is to reflect on ourselves and reflect on our life and reflect, and write down in a journal, like, how am I feeling in terms of my relationship, or in my case, non-relationship at the moment? How am I feeling about my family? How am I feeling about my friends? How am I feeling about my finances? How am I feeling about my mission, like my life goal, my life purpose or purposes? How am I feeling about my career? All these type of things. How am I feeling about myself spiritually? All these type of things are part of self-care. They're allowing you to reflect your mind and to let things flow out of you. Like when you just like, sometimes I can't do certain works or certain tasks, and I have to just leave it and then let things flood out later on at their own pace. Because sometimes if we force ourselves to think about things, we just become overwhelmed. Our mind gets really compacted and it just makes us want to scream, and then we end up with the shortness of breath, or like we're holding our breath in, and it can be really like hard to concentrate or think or do anything in that state. So we really need to change our state. We can change our state through movement and music. That's really important. So part of self-care is change your state from a negative to a positive, from a feeling down and depressed to feeling happier, from feeling stuck in a rut to feeling like released. And so the reflection is part of that release, to be able to reflect on different aspects of your life. And you might, have a notepad and pen by your bed, and just to jot things down and just release, you know. So it's kind of like a splurge of ideas, a splurge of things you're thinking. You know, you can literally just grab plain piece of paper and splurge everything out. I'm thinking of this, thinking about this, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. Right. So this is a way of reflecting, getting stuff out, but also to change your state through movement and music. So if you're feeling sluggish, lethargic, unenergetic, really down, you know, if you start start putting on your favorite music and kind of like jumping up and down, or if you don't like jumping up and down, waving your arms in the air, you know, if you feel miserable, I know it sounds counterproductive or counter weird, but smiling is better. So if you know, like smile to yourself, even if you're not feeling so good, like I'm going to smile anyway, because the more you smile, you get into a routine of smiling, the more it's harder to feel down if you're smiling. So you know, and like I said, you know, if you need to take your mind off things, take your mind off things. You know, sometimes it's good to listen to other people's problems when you're not feeling so good, when you're feeling stressed or anxious. Other times it's not, you know, because it depends how you're coping in that time. Sometimes it can be better to cut off from social media and everyone for just a short time. Make sure your friends know you're okay, you know, and just have time out for you to get away from all that type of thing. Other times it's better for you actually to talk to other people, you know, like distract your mind with things, reach out to people, send love to lots of other people, listen to other people, or share your you know, your problems or worries with other people. But you know, make sure you always put positivity into your life every single day, whatever that is, even if it's just eating your favorite food, or you know, doing a bit of exercise, or just reading a book that makes you feel good, watching a movie that makes you feel good. If you're into sport, you know, you could try doing some sport and that type of thing. So I'm not into sport myself, but you know, anything that makes you feel good, positive, happy, in a different state, you know, because when we're in a miserable state, we're normally slumped like this. It's much better to put your shoulders back and stuff like this. You know, my neck I'm still trying to get right because it's still a bit stiff and so yeah, really, really important. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful, helpful, insightful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. I love all the people that have been in the chat tonight. There's been quite a lot of people. 100% Beef was here earlier. Doc Psycho, lots of love. Sparky, 666, and my best asexual friend, Sam, Space Ace. So thank you to 100% Beef, Doc, Psycho, Sparky, 666, Eddie. Thank you so much as well for Eddie. Gotta remember Eddie. And Sam. I love you all dearly. I'm going to love you and leave you for now. Like I said, because I'm signed off work sick at the moment, I'm not on my channel as much as possible at the moment. So I've got to take time out. Hope you'll get well soon. Thank you, Sparky. I really appreciate you saying that. It's nice to have you here. Take care, humans. Live long and prosper. Oh, thank you. Lots of love to you. Thanks for being here. And I'll see you on the next video or live stream when I can. All right. But know that I love you dearly. I am thinking about you. I still care about these people on the channel. I still care about you. I'm still loving being asexual. And I hope to be back with you soon. Lots of love. Take care. Bye. Bye. Have a good day.